With the LIV Golf taking away many of the big names over to its side, the PGA Tour can't be seen lagging behind, so the Tour recently met with players to discuss and transmit a number of changes that would safeguard it from the impending threat posed by the competing Saudi League. Keep watching because we have everything you need to know about the PGA Tour right here. First up, the PGA Tour will undergo some major changes. The Tour is getting ready to shell out some big bucks, as it'll soon announce a series of 8 events with payouts of at least $20 million US. This will also include restricted fields and no cut, according to Golf Digest's Daniel Rapaport. The FedEx Cup standings from the previous season's top 50 finishers will determine who's qualified for those competitions. The other 3 will take place abroad during the PGA Tour's Autumn Series, which runs from September through November. 5 will take place during the peak of the PGA Season Tour and are currently existing tournaments that will be raised in prestige. The 3 PGA Tour Invitationals, the Jack Nicklaus Memorial Tournament, the Arnold Palmer event at Bay Hill, and the Tiger Woods Genesis Invitational at Riviera are rumored to be among the 5 current events. The international competitions will take place in Asia, the Middle East, and Europe, according to sources who were present at a players' meeting on Tuesday at the Travelers Championship in Connecticut. According to the sources, one possibility being looked into is rotating the Asia event through Australasia, with Australia being included in the schedule. Next, an urgent meeting to decide the fate of the Tour. With a threat to its very success and existence looming on the horizon, players and PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan met in an emergency session at TPC River Highlands in Cromwell, Connecticut, where they discussed the PGA Tour's schedule through 2023. The Tour didn't have much time to appreciate one of the great U.S. Opens before turning back to the biggest danger it ever faced. More than 100 players attended the meeting with the commissioner. Monahan discussed the danger posed by LIV Golf, a brand new competitor circuit composed of 54-hole no-cut competitions with a prize pool of $25 million US apiece. Greg Norman's the CEO of LIV Golf, and the league is very controversially funded by the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia. Despite all the scandal and protests, the LIV Golf is well underway. The event held its inaugural event in London, and it's getting ready to hold its first U.S. event at Pumpkin Ridge in Oregon. For its first series, there are a total of 8 events, including a finale, now bringing the golf to Down Under. So where are all the LIV Golf events happening? The series will be expanded from 8 to 14 tournaments for its second season, according to the Australian Golf Digest. It was also revealed that Australia is rumored to be in line for an event. According to sources, a delegate would go to Australia near the end of 2022 to look at various locations for a Melbourne event. And this doesn't come as a surprise, as many people believed Norman would assist Australia in landing a prestigious international tournament when LIV Golf first introduced him as its chief executive. Of course, this is because Norman has won the Open Championship twice. When it comes to the PGA Tour, Cameron Smith expressed his opinion to AGD that the PGA Tour needs to hold a yearly event in Australia. He was hopeful that this polarization in the sport could lead to the Down Under getting a star-studded event. The American Tour might make a calculated decision and hold a regular event there because LIV Golf definitely wants to expand its presence internationally. If you're competing against a rival league, you have to get all the support you can get. It would be nice if our region was looked after in all of this. Smith spoke more about the situation at the recent US Open. The European Tour, now known as the DP World Tour, has shown its support for the PGA Tour. DP World Tour said that it would co-sanction the Australian Open this year as part of a strategic partnership with the PGA Tour. It's worth noting, though, DP World Tour already does co-sanction it. There's another thing. The United Arab Emirates is most likely location for the Middle East tournament, which is already raising some eyebrows. Many people would disagree with this choice surrounding the issues of free speech restriction and detainment committed by the monarchy. Next, PGA Tour boosts prize money. In the presentation, Monahan also provided some confirmation about the specifics of the restructured tour. With effect from 2024, the season will once again follow the calendar, and 3 additional international competitions will be added to the end of the season. Now for the most important part, the money. As an incentive for players to stay and participate, the prize money will get a dramatic increase. At 8 selected tour events, purses will be roughly $20 million. There's also another important change, with 70 players for the FedEx St. Jude Championship, 50 players for the BMW Championship, and 30 players for the Tour Championship. The final round fields for the FedEx Cup playoffs are going to change in 2023. All these changes are huge, since these actions represent the PGA Tour's biggest response to LIV Golf yet. And it makes sense when you consider that the league debuted so very recently and has already signed 8 of the top 50 players in the world, including major champions Dustin Johnson, Phil Mickelson, and Brooks Koepka. And it's important to know your limitations when competing. Now, these changes don't mean that the PGA Tour wants to be equal to or even similar to the LIV Golf. Quite the opposite, actually. Monahan told reporters that the PGA Tour would not be able to financially compete with LIV Golf, which makes sense because the Saudi-backed tour is thought to have assets of a staggering $620 billion. The tour commissioner reflected on the gap in finances and even considered it naive to believe that they could win the who has more money game. One of the richest countries in the world is trying to buy golf, and an American institution like PGA can't compete with that. And while there's growth and excitement in healthy competition between tours, the LIV Saudi Golf League is anything but healthy. The new league is an illogical threat that doesn't care about the game's real development or return on investment. Human rights organizations and LIV critics consider the project an effort by Saudi Arabia to improve the kingdom's reputation through sport, a technique known as sport washing. And while you might think some dollar bills wouldn't be enough to hide human rights violations and atrocities, it seems like you're wrong. Many have chosen to take the huge rewards and sign-up purses. The circuit has spared no expense trying to lure the best players in the world, reportedly offering signing bonuses of between $100 and $200 million. Now, the merger of tours. As we've talked about before, the DP World Tour and the PGA Tour may be seen working together more closely in the future. This decision would definitely provide a route into Australia, given the DP World Tour's presence at the Australian PGA Championship. But that's not all this step's going to help with. The DP World Tour still hasn't officially responded to the LIV Golf League and hasn't made its stance clear. So while the two bodies aren't going to completely merge, they're going to be collaborating more. And this merger comes at the perfect time for the PGA Tour, which needs all the support it can get right now. And of course, when you consider that the PGA Tour lacks the authority to prevent players from competing in all the four majors, this step makes even more sense. It can ban the players from the American Tour all at once, but is that really enough to send a message? This merger might give them more power and give rise to bigger events in the future. What does the future hold now? The players are still trickling out of the PGA Tour and joining its rival. The 8-time Tour champion Brooks Koepka is one of the most recent to join the Saudi League. Some would understand why. He was offered a signing bonus of over $100 million after all. McIlroy, a 4-time major winner, has remained one of the most loyal to the American institution and fully believes that the sport's going to be changed forever by these recent events and huge divide. And there's nothing anyone can do except wait and watch it unfold. PGA of America CEO Seth Waugh, who criticized LIV Golf and the changes money would bring to the sport, is also very curious to see what the future holds. Even though Waugh has mentioned certain requirements to be qualified for the PGA Championship, we don't know yet what penalties PGA members would face for participating in London. The PGA Tour regulations do mention that to be a PGA member someplace and qualified to play, you have to be a recognized member of a recognized circuit. But the PGA may also change its guidelines, since the Saudis have donated to the Asian Tour, which LIV players might join and qualify for. That's a wrap for this video. What do you think about the new revamped PGA Tour? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one. Thanks for watching.